Welcome, everybody. This is Best in Show Books, a booktube channel by Naughty Dog Books. I'm Gina.
And I'm Shelby.
And today we are going to talk about something that we do here at the store. It is a mystery book box. The box is a subscription, and I have been doing this subscription box since before I even worked here. And
so she's unbiased.
Yes, and it's one of my favorite things to get every 3 months.
Yeah. So it's a quarterly book box subscription service, and throughout the course of the episode, we are going to unveil, this was April's book box, and just tell you a little bit about the subscription. Like she said, they are all mysteries. They'll range from a cozy mystery, which we actually have a previous cozy pick to show you. Sometimes they're a little more serious, a little more literary. And then every now and then for Halloween and Christmas, we will do a special edition holiday book box. Those are a little bigger than these, and they're also more expensive. The book boxes themselves on the quarterly basis are $49.99 each quarter. Gina has a few previous books to just kind of show you, to give you a taste of the kind of things that might be inside the book box.
And I think one of my favorite things is that, like working here and like sharing our ideas about books, is finding the new book or a different author or something I wouldn't pick up. So one of our cozy mysteries from a couple boxes ago was the Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. This was hilarious. It's a cozy mystery, and everything in the book box was kind of an Asian themed teas, a little teacup, which was fun. I really enjoyed getting that. So I have the teacup sitting on my shelf with a pine cone in it that my son found. So, all the good things. And then we had the Carolina Moonset. I don't know if I would call this literary, but I think it was a little bit
like a dramatic,
it's
literary mystery.
Beach themed. So this was really nice. It was a beach towel, even though I didn't know it was a beach towel, and I used it as a throw on my porch in the summer.
Bless her heart. Gina was like, I love the throw. I was reading outside with the throw on, and I was like, Gina, that's a towel.
Anyway,
but that's okay.
It's a really nice towel.
Purpose.
It's a really nice towel. And so I think there was fudge in this one. So it was really nice to have the beach theme, something different. And it was the summer box, which made it nice. And then Frida McFadden, The Housemaid. So this was a fun, if you guys haven't read it, it's a series. And there's several.
First in the series.
The first in the series. And it had a cleaning theme. So I got a lemon soap bar and a dish scrub.
And a dish towel, a lemon dish towel.
Yeah, it was really nice. So my kitchen looked really good and smelled really good for a little while. And I still have the book, actually the dish brush, and I probably ought to change it out.
Me too. I need
but I love that. But I love that thing. So these were really nice, and the gifts inside of them were just adorable. And people that know me and know that I get the book box and haven't gotten them yet, they'll always say, "What'd you get this month? What'd you get?" And so I love sharing that. And I feel like they're just little, they're nice little gifts to yourself or a gift to somebody else for Christmas.
Yes,
I ask for the subscription every year for Christmas. So
we have a lot of people who gift them as gifts, even just the one-offs, like the holiday boxes, but also the subscriptions. And so it's actually my mom who puts the boxes together. So she does a really good job theming them to each book. So it's never just like, here's a book and this random thing that goes with it. It all ties back into the book somehow.
So we talked about The Good Liars a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, that was a box pick.
That was a box pick. And when you open the box, there were white feathers in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are there feathers in this book? But once I read the book, I was like, oh, I get the intent of the white feathers. So,
and that one had a custom bookmark in it.
It did.
Like from the box. That was really nice.
Actually, it was. I love all the book boxes. So, and when you come to my house, you'll see all the little goodies. I have candles.
It's like a shrine to the book boxes.
It kind of is. It kind of is.
So this was the April box, and we're going to open it live. We're going to show you. So inside each box.
Oh, and the boxes are great for Christmas to reuse.
Recycle. Yeah.
Just saying.
There's always going to be a letter inside the box that kind of tells you why we chose what we chose. And this one you can see the trees, which matches the wrapping paper on the book, which we will get to last.
Yes.
So inside the box was the book, and it's always a paperback mystery. We had a little travel backpack sling, Vermont maple brittle, because the story takes place in Vermont. And Gina was like, do you need me to bring you my box? And I said, no, I think we have a sample at the store. And she was like, okay, I ate all my brittle, but I saved the bag for you.
I did. I saved the bag. My husband got into it, and he's like, this is really good. I'm like, I know, that's mine. Leave it alone.
Save the bag.
Save the bag.
And then we always love to include stationery.
I love the stationery.
Because writing letters is a lost art.
And I've used mine quite a bit.
Good.
I do. I use mine. I have a little basket that I put all my stationery in. And
Oh,
use
good.
it. I've used it like for thank you cards. And so I like it.
So those were the goodies inside the box. Gina, what was the book? Unwrapped.
What Happened to Nina by Dervla. Oh my.
Dervla McTiernan.
There we go. Thank you. And it is a mystery. But it's more than just a mystery of what happened to Nina, because obviously that is the story. We are trying to figure out what happens to Nina. You find out from the very beginning that she's missing. She goes missing, but there's more to it, a lot more to it. What did you, because we both read it. So what did you think when you read this?
Well, this was actually one of my favorite books of last year. And I was wanting more than your run-of-the-mill thriller. And I feel like I got it.
Absolutely.
So Nina is a young girl. She's dating Simon, and they've been dating a couple years. And so they go away together for a weekend trip, and Nina doesn't come back. And so the story is really a conflict between these two families who are connected through their dating children. You have Nina's family and you have Simon's family, and how they both handle her disappearance. And so not even how they handle it, how they handle it under the scrutiny of mass media. With any sort of disappearance, you get a lot of media coverage, and there are press conferences. And Nina comes from a working class family. Her mother had her as a single, was she a single mom then? And then
early college, like 18, 19 maybe.
And then she remarried Nina's stepdad, who raised her, and they kind of own their own small business. And so they're working class, but Simon's family is fabulously wealthy.
And it's their house, the second home that they own, that all of this missing part takes place. The kids go off by themselves to this house. If you own a second house and you're only an hour or two from your own house, that's wealthy.
Right. Simon and Nina go off together to Simon's second home. It's probably not their second home. Realistically, it's
third, one of the multiple homes.
They're that wealthy. They go off, and it's after that weekend that Nina doesn't come back. And that's when the whole book kicks off. And so it's the families kind of warring against each other, but I hate to say warring, but they really are. They have opposite goals, because Nina's family's like, we just want to find her. And then Simon's family is like, we want to protect our son, and then because of Simon's family's wealth, they kind of stir up this media storm a little more because they have access to these resources. And
kind of a fixer, a social media fixer type.
A PR
comes in and says, well, we're going to create this whole social media storm on the other side just to put doubt. We're just going to,
because they want to keep their son safe. You know?
And at this point, either side doesn't know what happened to Nina. So Simon's family is just like, we're going to put a circle around us.
So you hear from both sides of the family, in addition to law enforcement, which kind of serves as a stable, unbiased third-party voice through the book. Wouldn't you think?
I do. And we talked about this earlier, that you get the first person and a third person narrative.
Yeah, I like how she did that.
Yeah, so each chapter starts with the name of the person that you're going to get the viewpoint from. So if it's Jamie, the mom of Simon, or Leanne, the mom of Nina, or Matthew, which is the police officer, but it switches points of view. So you get a first person and then third person. And I feel like that was a good switch back and forth, because like you said, it's the truth. And then their truths filtered through their emotions.
Right.
So each family member goes through what they see or feel based on how the emotion of it. Because it's intense.
Oh, yeah. So a little bit about the author. Dervla McTiernan is an Irish author living in Australia. And I watched several interviews with her, and they were really interesting. She was a very fascinating interviewee, and she had a lot of really good tidbits about how she constructed the story. And once you read it, she said that she actually wrote a totally different ending. And now I'm dying to know. What is that?
I know.
Yeah. And so she wrote a totally different ending, but she ended up going with this one. And she talked a little bit about her writing process. And she said that she wanted to write a book that took place in a short period of time, over the course of a week. And she wanted at the end of the book for these characters to be able to look back and say, like, what have I done? Who was I on Monday? Because that's not who I am now.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what she wanted, and that's what she did.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
I agree.
the decisions these families have to make in the wake of this media storm, dealing with the conflicts with their children, with each other,
Yes.
because it's not like they're separated. You
No.
know, the families are very...
Yes, they live in the same small little town, and they know everybody knows them. They know everybody. These kids have been together since they were in high school.
Yeah.
So it's not like they barely know each other.
Yeah.
I mean, and I believe the two moms may have known each other even in high school.
Maybe.
I mean, they even had a history. Like,
yeah, they did.
There was, so they're very intertwined. Very intertwined.
Yeah. And it gave a lot of, in addition to perspectives for the chapters, just, I think, to expound a little on that, you see cases like this on TV. You know, someone goes missing and you see a press conference and you see them kind of disheveled, but then that's kind of like all you see. You know, in this story, we hear from Nina's younger sister, Nina's stepdad, Nina's mom, Simon's parents, the law enforcement. And then there were even, remember, there were like local people who, or maybe not even locals, just people concerned, like kind of armchair detectives who came in and tried to like offer assistance and say, well, this doesn't add up. You know, what about this? And
but when you get to the part in the middle, when you think you know everything, you don't. You don't know everything. And then when you get to the end, I'm satisfied totally by the ending.
The ending
was
so good.
Yeah,
so good.
Agatha Christie ending. Because when you read this, you might, if you follow the Gabby Petito story, you might think you're seeing similarities. But it is to the point of you've got a young couple that are together, and he may or may not look suspicious, but
she goes missing.
But other than that, there's
no van life. But like,
no, there's no van life. They don't document their life online. None of that.
But there's a similarity in the media storm.
Yes. So you got a lot of family dynamics in this, a lot of relationships,
interpersonal.
Yes. Yeah. And then there's the little sister who's trying to navigate going to school in the midst of all of this. Sister, I mean, how do you go to school?
I know.
When everybody thinks that your sister's either dead or missing, or, you know, your parents might be involved, or the boyfriend might be involved. I mean, the media is hounding them at school.
Yeah.
Like they have to drive.
Yeah, that was really sad.
Yeah, that was really sad. And
I think one of the things that I really enjoyed about this book was this family and kind of a raw emotional dynamic, because this is where our perspectives are going to differ. Because Gina is a true crime junkie, you know.
I admit it.
Yeah,
I admit it.
And so that's not typically something I would gravitate toward. But I think one of the reasons I enjoyed this so much was that it humanized the whole experience, and in a way that you don't get when you're like scrolling the news or you might see a documentary. You know, it kind of read like you were watching a documentary. It was that like visual, but it was so raw, and I felt like I could believe that all these people would act this way and in their brokenness. And it was just such a compelling read.
It really was.
Yeah.
And I think that as a true crime junkie, Dateline, 48 Hours, all of those things, when you start reading some of these books and it shows you the darker side of what social media can do, it makes you stop and think and go, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't be watching this. Maybe I don't feel like I'm giving them entertainment value. I just enjoy putting the clues together.
Yeah.
And that's really where I come from on that, but not everybody does.
And your husband's a detective.
Yeah. And so, you know, not everybody comes from it from that point of view. Some people come from it as the voyeuristic. I don't understand that.
Yeah. I think it's a great book club pick.
Oh,
because if you're reading it with a group of people and you've all like read it, obviously, you can pick it apart and it would just, the conversation would go on for hours. I feel like it was an excellent book. Would you read something else by her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. In a heartbeat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And especially I like Ireland. And so to find out that one of her series is set in Ireland, I was like, oh, now I really want to pick up that and see what it's like. So yeah. And they did say somewhere along the line that FX, the channel, might be making one of her books, I think Murder Rule. Oh. So if anybody's read Murder Rule, there's a possibility of that coming to television.
There's a possibility for everything. But if something needs to come to television, it should be this.
This
would be great.
I see books in my head when I read this, and this one was very easy to see.
So what do you think some of the main themes were? Because there were a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you could really tease a lot out of
yeah.
this.
There was definitely family. There was definitely a loyalty
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, yeah, they
Yeah.
rallied. They rallied. Love,
Mm-hmm.
because the different versions of what you think love is, family love, relational love.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. What about you? What do you think?
I think all of those for sure. And love in both sides of the families, their actions are rooted in love, but
Mhm.
they're taking such varying
Mhm.
directions
Yeah.
on that. And I think the whole underscoring theme for me of the book was like, how far would you go
Oh, yeah.
to protect your child,
Mhm.
to save your child, to find out what happened to
Mhm.
your child?
It's such a devastating thing to happen to a family, to have a missing child. And at 20,
22
roughly,
maybe?
yeah,
21?
college age.
Yeah.
So they're an adult. So the fact that that's handled differently in a
Mhm.
missing person
Mhm.
than like a 15-year-old,
Right.
they have to wait longer. They treat it as, oh, well, maybe she walked away. Maybe she just
Yeah.
decided I'm going to go visit a friend. That's kind of scary too as a parent, because
Mhm.
I'm a parent of an 18-year-old who's
Yeah.
supposedly an adult now. I mean, I would freak out if they were
Yeah.
missing at 18, 19, 20 years old and the police officers said, well, they're an adult. They could
Yeah,
walk away if they
so-
wanted to. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that was really scary.
And on the flip side of that, there are times in the book where, because the children are adults now, the parents are reminiscing on back when they were small.
Yes.
And I have small children. And so I
Oh.
read it and was like, oh, it's just
Yeah,
such an exploration of how far would you go
yeah.
for your children. And I feel like there's no way to know,
No.
until you're
No.
in
I
that
think until
situation.
until you're there. I mean, I can say I would do this.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think any of us, until you're in that situation, would really know what you would do.
So we highly recommend.
Oh, definitely.
Highly recommend
Yes.
What Happened to Nina by Dervla McTiernan. And if you have read it, please leave us a comment and let us know. I wish we could go into more details. Maybe
Oh,
we
I
should
know.
have like a separate series of episodes that are like spoilers, like
Yeah, because there's so
spoiler book
much that I want to
discussions.
say. What did you think
I know.
about? Or how did you respond to?
What about the ending?
Because the ending, oh my gosh, the ending. I will admit, I finished this yesterday because my 18-year-old is graduating and life is kind of a little upside down. And I'm looking at pictures of the chubby little fingers and all of that. So all the feels were in this book. So when I finished this last night or yesterday afternoon, I was like, oh my heavens, the ending of this book is so good. And
So good, but
it is.
chilling.
It is. And I want to
See,
talk about it.
I tried to wrap us up. I tried to roll us
I'm
out
sorry.
and we just,
And I just keep talking.
no, we just can't stop talking about it.
Yeah,
So
it's really good. So let us know if you have read this, what you think of it. Let us know if you've read anything else by her, or if you have any other suggestions in this kind of vein of book, because I really like hearing from you guys. My TBR is so growing. East of Eden has moved up the list for those of you that have talked a lot about East of Eden. It's moved up the TBR.
Yeah. And I felt like this was a really good fit for this kind of wilderness themed book box.
Absolutely.
In the woodsy thing.
Yes.
So if you are interested in the book box subscription, you can go to our website, the store's website, which is naughtydogBooks.com. Very original. And you'll find information right there.
And we also, just to throw this out, we now have a Facebook page. So
we do.
Please check us out.
Gina's moderating it.
Yes. Best in Show Books by Naughty Dog Books. And so we link in the videos, and then we talk a little bit about other things that we like about books, and we ask you questions about what you're reading, and Arthur makes an appearance now and then, so he's very interested in what you all read.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So check us out.
So we will go ahead and link What Happened to Nina in the show comments description below. We're going to link it somewhere down there. If you want to add a copy to your personal TBR, which like we said, we highly recommend.
Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today on Best in Show Books. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll keep coming back. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe and all the fun things that we ask for you to do. I am Gina.
And I'm Shelby.
We'll see you next time.